Hey guys, how's it going? Kriparian here. So some time back, I did a comparison, just me talking about it, um, where I compared the item progression in Diablo versus the item progression in Path of Exile. Just so you guys understand, like how conceptually different the games are, because I think that's more interesting than anything else. So after that video, I actually talked to some of the developers of Path of Exile, and they were cool enough to set me up with some alpha items here so I can demonstrate to you guys and show you guys in depth exactly how this would work, because it is something that's pretty unique. I've never seen a system like this in a game before, and I think it's really cool. So let's have a look here. So these are the items they hooked me up with. This is just like a really high level white item. It's got 3 sockets. They're linked, but a chest can have up to 6, so it's pretty mediocre item. The shield, kind of the same deal, pretty mediocre, just base item. Just an axe, a wand, a necklace, 16 plus all stats. It's like the base stat of the necklace. That can go up to 20. And a hybrid flask, which is like a life and a mana regeneration flask. It's like kind of like a Diablo 2 rejuvenation pot. And a map. A map is like an instanced area that you create. Okay, so these are all the base items that they hooked me up with, and these are the currencies. Now, everything that you see on the screen can drop in the game, and there's also different ways to acquire these items through vendor recipes. So let's just go through them real quick. So, Jeweler Orb reforges the number of sockets on an item. So, remember how I said the chest can have up to 6? Well, you can just keep using these until you get 5, and maybe you can get 6. Obviously, 6 is much more rare than 5, which is much more rare than 4, and then 3, 2, 1 are just pretty common. Then we have Armor Scrap, improves the quality of armor. So when you see the armor piece here, it has 6 quality. All this really does is improve the armor value. For armor, it's not that important, but for weapons, you see we have a Blacksmith Whetstone, which is the same thing for a weapon. It'll actually increase the damage. So you can see 25 to 74, and I can drop that on there, plus 5%. How about that? Then we have reforges the links between the sockets on an item. So you see this item here, the shield, it has 3 sockets. The blue and the red on the top are linked, but the blue at the bottom is not. So if you have like a blue support gem on a red gem, and then just like another blue support gem, this would do nothing. Where in this one, where they're all linked, they would all affect each other. So that's where the difference comes from, and typically linked is much better than unlinked, and that's what you need these for. Then you have Chromatic Orb, reforges the color of sockets on an item. Let's see, you had this item right here, you had red, blue, red. You can just, there you go, red, red, red. That can be a lot better in some cases. You have the Orb of Chance, upgrades a normal item to a random rarity. Now there are several rarities in this game. You have the white item, which is what these are. You have the magical, which is the blue quality. You have the rare, yellow quality. And then you have the unique, some people call legendary, because they play Diablo 3. And it's kind of like the goldy color. And Orb of Chance, I've never seen a unique come out of it, but apparently it's possible. Rares are more or less pretty common, but typically you get a blue. And you have Divine Orb, randomizes the numeric values and the random properties of an item. So let's see if these actually had stats on them. These are not stats, these are base stats that you see right now because these are white items. Let's say they were rares. Well, you can use a Divine Orb to change the value of the rares. Let's say you had like plus 16 strength and the max strength item is 20. You can use Divine Orbs until that one stat that you want hits its highest level. You have Orb of Alteration, reforges a magical item with new random properties. So if you already have a magical item and you're not satisfied with it, you can use one of these items to get new magical properties. And these are pretty common. The Orb of Alterations are pretty common, the Orb of Chance are pretty common, and also the Orb of Transmutation are pretty common. Upgrades a normal item to a magical item. These are very, very common. I'll show you how you use these appropriately in a second. And Orb of Augmentation adds enhance a magical item with a new random property. So let's say you make something magical and it only has one property. You can also dump one of these to get a second property on it. You have a Regal Orb, upgrades a magical item to a rare item. Now when you use a Regal Orb on a magical item to make it up to a rare item, it will keep the stats that it had when it was a magical item. That can be very, very important when you're trying to build items. I have 4 Exalted Orbs. These are one of the most valuable currencies in the game. So if you already have a rare item that's really, really good and it only has like 5 stats, you literally add a stat on top of it. Max stats on, max affixes on a rare item is 6. Then you have Orb of Scouring, removes all properties from an item. Now what this doesn't do is it doesn't remove the quality bonus. So let's say this axe was a rare. I could Orb of Scour and then it'll look exactly like that. It would not alter the sockets or the links or the colors between the sockets. It's just the stats and its rarity. We have Orb of Alchemy, upgrades a normal item to a rare item. Pretty self-explanatory. These drop in the game now and then. They're not that hard to come by. 8 Chaos Orbs, reforges a rare item with new random properties. So, you know, let's say you had a white item, you Orb of Alchemy'd it. You weren't too happy, but the base item was pretty valuable. Let's say it had really, really good sockets. Then you could just re-roll the rare and keep re-rolling rares because you don't want to redo your sockets, you know. And then this is the big one, the Mirror of Calandra. Apparently these are almost unheard of in terms of rarity, but they do exist. And what they do is it creates a mirrored copy of an item. I actually have never used one of these, so we'll see exactly how that works. Now these are the items that that the developers gave me, and they're generally pretty crappy items. They're very good because they have high item level. So in the game you can mouse over and you type /item level. This is an item level 67 chest. That's very, very high. It's very hard to come by item levels that high in the game. So, you know, let's say you just got lucky and you did like a level 66 map or whatever, 67 map, and you ended up getting this exact item in the map. Maybe you'd want to build it from scratch. So let's do that. Now the first thing to keep in mind is the quality. When you're building an item up from scratch, you want the quality to hit its maximum, which is 20%. Now, you'd be upgrading the quality with this thing here, an armored scrap. It improves the quality of armor. Now, when you use the armored scrap on a magical item, it increases its percentage points by 2. On a rare or legendary or unique, it increases by 1. But if you use it on a white item, it's by 5. So you want to drop these on there, make it perfect quality. Look at that. Now, at this point, you know, you wouldn't normally start with an item like this. In my opinion, you'd want to start with an item that has really, really good sockets, or an item that has really, really good stats, and you'd work on the part that it's missing. But let's just experiment here real quick. So let's first do like a small item progression. Let's make it into a magical item and see what happens. Alright, so we just got 2 properties, which is the most that you can have on a magical item. So it's Lacquered of Archaeology. Just by the wording, I would assume Lacquered is plus armor, and the Archaeology is plus rarity. Now, those aren't particularly good stats. So at this point, you know, what I could do is I could scour the item, I can make it back to a white item, and then make it magical again. Let's just do that just so we can see how it works. See? Back again, the only thing that changes is now a white item. Let's make it magical again. I have 24 rarity and 164 life regenerated per minute, so like life regen. Both of these stats are also pretty mediocre in my opinion. So let's just re-roll it. You know, reforge is a magical item with new random properties. Let's see what happens here. Lightning resist, 36. I would argue that's pretty good. So let's try enhancing it with a second affix because it only has one affix there. 41 life. 41 life is actually really low for an armor like this. And while this is a pretty good item in itself, it has life and 1 resist. I kind of want a little bit more life. So let's just waste a few more mats here and come up with something maybe a little bit better here, using the same methodologies. Increased armor, plus armor, stun recovery, lightning resist, add another one. We have 7% increased armor. Let's alter it again. Oh, not so lucky here. That one's actually not bad. It's got some increased armor, some life regen. Maybe we'll do one or 2 more here. Gonna be out. Alright. Well, I don't have many more, so this is probably about the best I'm gonna get. So let's just roll with it. Let's let's imagine that these are actually really good stats, which they are, but they're not in high enough numbers. So let's say they were. We can use something here, a Regal Orb. We can upgrade the magical into a rare. So you can see right now it has 46 life and 20 lightning resist. Upgraded it, 46 life, 20 lightning, and a 39 cold. Not that great of an item. That's okay. That's okay. Let's mess around and maybe have some fun with a weapon here. Here we go. We'll take the weapon. We'll use the same methodology. We'll use the quality bonus to make it maximum quality, because for weapons it matters a lot. Now I don't have that many things to make it a magical item, but we can try it. Oh, we actually got attack speed 24. That is actually very good. I didn't get any percent damage, but hopefully when I make it a rare, it will acquire that attribute. It did not. It's pretty crummy. Alright, so at this point, if this is like a really good base rare, you can start using some Chaos Orbs. So let's use maybe a few here and see what we come up with. +1 level of melee gems. Yeah, we're still looking for some damage affix though. Here we go. This is not bad. We can work with this. 90% increased physical damage. I've seen values up to 150. I think it's possible you can get more, but that's just what I've seen in the game. And it's got some attack speed. So we're gonna pretend that these stats are insane. We're like, oh my god, we just got the best axe ever. All right, let's have some fun with it now. So one part that isn't very good, it's got 2 sockets. It's a one-hander, and one-hander's gonna have 3 sockets. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reforge the number of sockets on the item. Look at that, 3. Now the colors are fine. We got 2 red and 1 green, but let's just say I want 3 red. Let's see how many it takes here. 3 red, 3 red. There we go, 3 red. And I want 3 red linked, so let's reforge the links here. See if we can get lucky here. Nope. Oh man. There we go. There we go. 3 red linked sockets. And also, when you look at the stats, you keep in mind this is only 3 stats. We have the enhanced damage, you have the increased attack speed, mana when you kill an enemy, and fire resistance. So, you know, while these are pretty good stats, they're not the best. Normally, I wouldn't use something as valuable as an Exalted Orb to add stats to it. But this is alpha, and we're here to waste some items, so let's see what we come up with here. Let's add another one, add some fire damage. Let's add a 3rd one here, some cold damage. Let's see what happens when you actually add another one, because I'm pretty sure the max is 6. Let's see if it lets me do that. No, it failed. Yeah, the max is in fact 6. So there you have it. That's a pretty good weapon. And this is essentially how you build gear in this game. You wouldn't necessarily waste all this stuff on, you know, a base item like that, but you can if you want to. I just want to show you guys a few more things here real quick. When it comes to like an amulet is kind of like a ring, you know, like other things, also like belts or these kind of items where they don't have armor and they don't have like damage, so they're not affected by quality. For an amulet, you know, 16 all stats on a maximum of 20 is not bad, and typically on an item like this, you would just alchemy orb it, make it a rare. Am I happy with it? It's not too bad. At this point, you can either keep it, or you can take a look at what kind of currency you have left. So you have a lot of Orb of Scourings and quite a few Orb of Alchemies, and really not quite as many Chaos Orbs. So, you know, if I really wanted to go laminate, I'll just like, you know, scour it back down and rare it back up. You know, 16 plus all resist is not bad. Let's just do a few more of these just for the lulz here. This one's pretty interesting. 16% increased armor, that would apply to the rest of your gear. You know, 8% increased evasion, apply to the rest of your gear, and 96 life. This is actually a pretty strong amulet. Typically you'd want resists, but it's got 6 stats, and they're pretty solid. So you can keep that as is. Now, that's what it is for gear. A lot of it, you know, makes pretty much perfect sense. The only thing that you'd maybe do with these items is maybe improve the chest a little bit. You can you know, reforge the number of sockets on the item until you get maybe 5 or 6, or in my opinion you want at least 4, but you know, this is pretty RNG, so sometimes you get a lot of these currencies, and it looks like that was one of those times, but oh well. Now another thing I want to show you guys is when it comes to items that are not actually like pieces of gear. So let's take a look at this this potion and this map. So potions can have stats on them. You see, I actually did a little bit of playing on this character and ended up getting a magical potion, which increases the amount recovered, but it lowers the recovery speed. Now, potions, they can only be blue items, but they are also affected by quality. They didn't give me any quality gems to show you guys. So you can improve the quality, so it improves the amount regenerated, either health or mana. And you know, you can use the same kind of items that you use on your gear. You can make it into a blue item. You can see if you like the stats. It's got a prefix and a suffix. You know, increased charge recovery, 2% mana leech to physical weapon damage during the last effect, last 5 seconds. You know, not too bad. If you weren't happy with this, you could use an Orb of Alteration to change it up. Yeah, this one's pretty good. 25% reduced amount recovered, but it's instant recovery when low on life, and grants 40% of life recovery to minions. So if you're like a pet class, you know, this will be pretty awesome. You can recover the health of your minions with your potions. And you would do the same thing. You'd pretty much re-roll these items, or you'd find them in the game and then upgrade the quality or upgrade the sockets to your choosing. Now when it comes to maps, like I said, maps are like instance areas, but they also have the same kind of adjustable factors like the other items. What do I mean by that? Well, let's have some fun here. Let's make it into a magical item. You look at that. 26% increased monster damage. So like, why would I want that? Why would I want to make the instance I spawn harder? I don't understand that. Well, the reason is when you increase the difficulty of the map, it increases the item quantity that the monsters drop within that map. And you know, the more stats or the harder stats, the higher item quantity you're going to get. Now, I don't have any more blue rerolls, so on this map what I can do is I can add another stat on it. 26% more rare monsters, and you can see that the item quantity increased. But you can also, you know, make into a rare. Now, these two stats for a map are actually not too bad. Now, I can Regal Orb it, but unfortunately it only added one stat. I don't know if Regal Orbs only add one stat or not, but you can see players are now cursed with Enfeeble. So within this instance, you're permanently cursed with Enfeeble. I don't even remember what Enfeeble does, but you know, you could assess if this is you know, okay or not for your character. And let's say it's not, you can bust out your Chaos Orbs and just reroll the rare, or you can scour it. In fact, let's scour it back to a base item, and then you can alchemy it, make it back into a rare. Area is 70% larger. 14% more magic monsters, 25% more rare monsters. Players are cursed with elemental weakness. That is a pretty cool map. But yeah, I was actually planning on rerolling with Chaos Orbs, but we're gonna power waste. You would never want to do this. You're never gonna want to Exalted Orb a map, never. But that's okay. We're gonna do it here. There we go. Monsters gain 1 frenzy charge every 30 seconds. That increased the quantity by 10%. Wow, let's do it again. Monsters reflect 25% of physical damage. It's actually not as bad as it sounds. But yeah, look at that. 6 stat rare map. Item quantity 33. The area is 70% larger, and it has more magic and rare monsters. That's a pretty amazing map. Now, if you had an item this amazing, maybe you could double it? Well, you would never, ever, ever want to use a Mirror of Calandra on a map. This is like a world first right here. But let's see what happens. Let's see if it lets us do that. Look at that. We got 2 of them now. How cool is that? So this one says mirrored. Now, I don't really know what that means. I don't think you can mirror a mirror, but I don't know if you can maybe mirror the original. Well, we got 2 Mirror of Calandras. Let's see what happens. Can we mirror a mirror? No, we cannot. Can we mirror the original again? Oh, we can. Look at that. So imagine instead of this map, you had like the best, let's say, you know, hammer ever. And you could keep the original, and you could, you know, maybe offer people with mirrors that you would mirror, copy your hammer to them for an additional maybe tip or something, you know? Man, that's pretty cool. Look at that. We got 2 mirrors on the one map. The original is always the best. How about that? It's pretty cool stuff. Just to conclude, let's make a few more rares here real quick. We got a wand, some added elemental damage, 21% increased lightning damage. That's not bad, but it doesn't have enough spell damage. That's a pretty garbage wand. And the shield's just the same. We got 100% increased armor and energy shield. Pretty awesome. Hopefully you guys get a better idea about how items work in this game. I think it's really, really awesome. And keep in mind, guys, like, you know, all these items, you can just get them to drop in the game. If you just play enough, you're going to have a lot of rerolling to do, more changes that loot. And you find that piece of gear that's almost good, and it's just missing a few stats or a few percentage points. You can just work on that just a little bit, build it into the best item possible, and, you know, make bank, double it, and just show your friends and whatnot. I don't know, man. It's pretty awesome. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and maybe give yourselves a few items and give it a try as well. I'll see you guys tomorrow.